crazy all night. Poured. We woke up and just discovered that Pookie the Shrew Slayer had a busy night. And there's a dead shrew on the floor. I don't know why she didn't eat it. Maybe she's been stuffing herself on him so much she didn't need that one. But yeah, this is what shrews look like when they're dead. I think my lens is fogging up a little bit because it's moist and chilly in here. But yep, there's a dead shrew. Well done, Shrew Slayer. Rock on. Here comes Shrew Slayer. And right here is our frequent house guest again. Jasmine has decided that she'd rather hang out with us in this nice warm tent than run around in the wet woods with John and Uncas. And Pookie has decided, yeah, she's still cautious, but she knows now that Jasmine's not going to hurt her. The only problem we have is that sometimes Jasmine wants to get up on the bed with Pookie, and that's a deal breaker. No offense, Jazzy. You're adorable. Thank you for hanging with us. So we do our coffee like we did in the bus with the French press. It's very convenient. And we're putting a little bit of the chaga that we harvested yesterday into it. Here we are right behind the place. There it is right there in our tent. And we have a big old chunk of chaga that Jack is starting to harvest some chunks off of. We can put in our coffee is what we usually do with it so far.
Amazing antioxidants from what I understand.
And yeah, really good for your immune system. It's quite a powerhouse medicinal mushroom from everything we know about it. And that's a nice chunk. It grows all over the place up here. There's a lot of it. We've got the Coleman cook stove here. I don't cook much in the way of food in the tent because I don't want food splatters on the tent to make it smell like a big old hamburger to a bear. So we heat water and stuff, but if I'm going to cook anything that might splatter or be really odoriferous like that, I move the stove outside because it's just safer that way. So, got our coffee in there. And we don't have a grinder for the chaga. So what I'm doing is just picking out a few chunks. And that looks a little barky. Let's pick a better chunk. I'm putting that in with the coffee to brew. That way we'll live forever. It was super rainy last night, but boy, our little wood stove here works so well. I get up in the morning, it's chilly in here, and I get the fire going in a heartbeat, and it's warm in here in like 5 minutes. And even though it rained like hell all night long, we're cozy dry. It's very nice. This tent is just kick booty.
Knock, knock.
Come in. The hardest part is pouring the hot water into the French press because I tend to spill it everywhere. But this is Camp Life Kitchen. She says, yeah. Tell me about it. Okay. Second cup of coffee with chaga on the way. Try not to step on Jasmine's nose down here.
Like the other. It's okay, sweetheart. I've never let you go. It's a good girl.
Got a bucket of water heating on the stove because I think today better be old-fashioned bath day. We've been up here a few days and yeah, yikes, haven't changed my clothes, haven't washed myself. It's time to get a little bit civilized. Yep, gotta do that. Just like a happy family. Yes. Pookie's back there on the bed, crashed out. All is well. Alright, we both just did a little wash up of the old stinky bodies. Had this bucket full of hot water. We just stood here naked and soaked up and poured the hot water. It felt really good.
Yes.
Yes, and of course we're using Dr. Bronner's organic peppermint soap, so it's extra refreshing in certain places.
Sponsors!
And, well, we had warm water, just rinsing out a few things, some socks, my nightshirt, things like that. Give them a little rinsey poo, because, you know, doing wash up like this becomes one of the simple pleasures, and it just feels really good, and it's really refreshing. Of course, when the weather's warmer and nicer, we just jump in the lake, and that takes care of things. But it's gray today. It's not too cold. Fortunately, it's very mild weather-wise as far as the temperature. And yeah, I just put her in. We're gonna probably cut some more firewood today. We gotta fell a few more of these little spruce trees and cut them up for dry firewood, because everything we're trying to burn in the stove is a little damp, and it's time to replenish that. So it's another day of tent life. Puttering at the lake. It's very nice. It's been fun watching Jack get comfortable with the chainsaw, and now he's just so easy with it. He's just felling trees and building things and sawing things and
Hello, you two.
and actually really enjoying it. So it's been really a fun thing to behold, the lumberjack in him come to maturity.
My dad Carl's shirt, his favorite shirt, became my favorite plaid shirt, so you can't go wrong as long as it's from the heart, right? Here we are with lifted hearts.
And no end of things to do, and things to cut, and things to build. Many years of happy cutting, sawing, building, working, smiling.
Growing, building, working, smiling.
Tent life at its best. Good morning. It's another morning in tent life, and it's a big day today because we have to make a run into town. And that is a little bit complicated by the fact that Billy has COVID and his mom has COVID. His mom and his stepdad came up to visit, and unfortunately they traveled unmasked and now have brought COVID to us again. So we won't be able to go in the house. We'll just go in the bus and use the internet. I got to upload a video. Jack has mechanical duties to attend to. What are you going to work on today, Annie?
Well, maybe trimming my eyebrows. I just thought about it.
Oh, no, not again! But seriously, you're going to be working on the bus bearings?
I'm going to repack the front wheel bearings because there's a little play in the wheels, the front wheels. So something I'd planned on doing. Oh, by the way, speaking of the bus, I got finally found the right thermostat, and that's in and ready to go. So the bus won't be running rich all the way home. Maybe we'll spend a little less money on gas. And
that would be nice.
Yeah.
So while he's doing that, I'm going to get my video uploading, and it's going to be episode 12 in this case. And I will run out to the grocery store, run out to Cubby's, stock up on a few things, and plus there's a few things we need to get from the bus. Made a big list, checking it twice at least. And it's been raining really hard. It rained last night again, but then as we woke up the rain stopped, and it's actually looking like a pretty nice day out there now. The trail is still going to be a mess. It's going to be going through lakes again, but that's the way it is. Hopefully we'll get there. The ATV crises are continuing. It wasn't just an episode, it's a lifestyle up here. So we're borrowing John's one working vehicle to get into town today. And then, but fortunately Steve's has now been fixed. And I guess, are you going to fix John's other one too at some point? The bearing needs to be replaced on that?
Yeah, but that's not as pressing. But there is also two identical broken down ones there at Sarah's house, so might kind of try and put both of them together. The rear end out of the one whose engine is bad into the other one, blah blah blah. So yes, we might even have our own before we go home.
Yeah, because Sarah and Billy said that if we could combine those vehicles and get a working ATV, we could have it. So finders keepers, or fixers keepers in this instance.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on. We're going to head out onto the wet trail. Pookie's going to stay here and guard the place. Fortunately, she's so acclimated to it. She loves it here. And I don't have any stress about leaving her for an afternoon. We'll come back this evening and pick up where we left off.
Yeah.
But we'll be restocked with food and maybe some clean clothes.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
Clean underwear.
Ooh!
Oh, yeah.
Now you're getting fancy. Well, here's a little different perspective shot. This is our first time leaving our campsite after living here for a few days to go back into town. Here we go. Shuggy is going to hold down the fort. Trip to town, part 2. We are taking an unexpected trip all the way to Wasilla because those with COVID need their Paxlovid and nobody else is available to go, and we needed to go shopping anyway, and it works out. We get to be helpful to the family and you know, get some things in Wasilla that maybe we wouldn't have been able to get at Cubby's. So we hopped into our trusty vehicle we call Steve's Jalopy and we're off to Wasilla. And the van is fine, the jalopy is fine. It's got a lot of character. What it doesn't have are shocks, a gas gauge, and a speedometer. But who needs those? It runs fine.
It's got a new battery.
And the windshield wipers work.
Oh, yeah.
And the turn signals.
Yes.
Well, that turned into a long day. We didn't get done the things that we actually went out to do. But that's okay. We helped with getting the Paxlovid to our people with COVID. And that was helpful. And we didn't have to come into contact with anybody, but we were still very helpful. So that's good. And now we're finally home, back to the tent. Pookie's just a little mad. She's behind the bed. She'll forgive us pretty soon, I think. Jasmine was here to greet us. And it's a beautiful evening. It's peaceful and quiet, and brought our outdoor rug, our nice porch carpet, so that hopefully we can keep the tent carpet a little bit cleaner now. So that feels good. And it's a lovely evening. Time to relax.